Hi, I'm Randy Altman with Post Perspective, and we're here at NAB 2025, and this is Rob Hoffmann from Lenovo.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Hi, Rob. How are you?
Doing good. It's another NAB.
It is, and it's a good one.
Yeah, there is a tremendous amount of turnout here. Packed hall, which is always great. A ton of exhibitors, and you know it's been really good. I've seen a lot of friends. Great place to reconnect. You know, see old colleagues from the industry. Also to be able to see what's going on, and kind of learn about where the industry is going in some cases as well.
Well, I was going to ask about that because you're not necessarily exhibiting here. You have partners, right?
Yes.
So you're on partner booths. Why don't you talk a little bit about who you guys are working with these days?
Sure. So, we're partnered up with our friends at AMD, and they are one of the core technology providers for our P8 and P620 workstations with their incredible Threadripper Pro technology.
And you guys were like the first one of them,
yes,
right?
Yeah, we were. We were the first to come to market with Threadripper Pro, but then also it spans over into our our ThinkPad line as well with our P14S and our P16S. So everything from high-end heavy computing for everything from driving virtual sets and virtual production volumes to administrative tasks to editing, compositing, 3D graphics, whatever it might be. It's really like the Swiss Army knife of workstations, really.
Well, speaking of virtual production and graphics and stuff like that, you are working with Vizrt and also Foundry?
Yes, yeah. So here at the show, they have a lot of Lenovo technology that they're deploying to be able to drive their demos. What's really exciting, speaking of the real-time aspect of things, Foundry just made an announcement, I want to say a couple days ago, about their new...
this Nuke Stage?
Nuke Stage, yeah. It's very cool.
Really?
It's incredibly cool, but we're really, really happy to be the first technology provider that they're deploying to be able to drive their demos here. So they're running all their demos off of ThinkStation P8s, which is incredible. And it's really a different approach to virtual production. It's really exciting to see kind of that next progression in that craft.
Do you think that it is making it available to people that might not have used virtual production before?
Yes, to a certain degree. I mean, it's a different way of approaching it, but I mean, you still have to have that volume. The LED volume, which obviously there is a cost associated with that. I mean, we're not going to lie about that. But what they're doing is they're really going all the way from pre-production to the final pixels with it, which is a really different kind of approach, and also it more mimics a traditional VFX approach as well. So you can end up with very high fidelity end results, but how they're doing it is actually really it's really interesting. It's and like I mentioned, kind of sounding a little repetitive. It's just a really new approach. It's a very exciting approach to a relatively new way of doing things.
Neat. I have to go check out that demo for sure. Before I let you go, what trends are you seeing? I mean, like what we're seeing is sort of like how it used to with the pyramid. It used to go from the tippy top down to the bottom. It's sort of reversing.
Yeah, we're in interesting times, not only from a technology standpoint, but obviously in general. But there's a lot that's taking place right now, and as you'd mentioned, back in the good old days where it was the ivory tower method of things, where only that small number of individuals would have access to these high-end tools and technologies to be able to create amazing and compelling content. Well, now that's over time things are commoditized, so prices come down, but the capabilities increase, and that's actually kind of goes back to why we're partnering with our friends at AMD, where they were the ones that really democratized high-end and high-performance computing with their Threadripper Pro CPUs. And what that's done is that's really opened the door for normal artists and independent content creators to be able to do things and have those capabilities that were only once available to those ivory towers that I had mentioned earlier. So, that's one of the big things. And obviously AMD with their Threadripper technology has been around, for a few years.
Sure.
But there's also a lot of other things that are driving the industry that are interesting. And one, obviously AI, big topic, depends on who you talk to, what one person's feelings might be.
Yep.
Obviously, AI, it's not going anywhere. It's here whether you like it or not. Our position on that is that it really there needs to be some governance around it. There needs, there's ethical use of it,
yes,
particularly in the areas of content creation, where, it really should never be, take away the creativity from the artist or the control of that narrative. Really, it should always be an assistant. But really where it's interesting and it's really freeing up artists to be able to focus on the task at hand, which is to be able to do the repetitive things, get rid of a lot of the more technical aspects of production where the artist can then focus mainly on the art. And really here at the show, one of the big things is really around AI that's being utilized for analytics. I mean, that's what drives the world. It drives viewership, and the better data that you have, or the better data that you can pull, the better experience that you can produce and deliver down the road, which is really important. But then there's also the other half of it. So you've got AI, great, and then you also have real-time technologies, and that is, obviously we've talked about it a bit with what Foundry is doing.
Sure.
But then it's one of those things where it's becoming more ubiquitous throughout the industry, whether it's virtual sets or virtual production environments for newscasters, or a lot of the live broadcast elements where you're watching a football match. So it depends on where you're at in the world. Football can be European football or American football, but both of them are deploying broadcasters are deploying a lot of those in-camera effects, a lot of which are obviously being run by real-time technologies. So there's a lot that's going on, and that's the other reason why we're here, is to look around and see what else is going on, and really what's the where's the industry going, what's the vibe of things, and make sure that we are working hand in hand with those that are developing the tools to make sure that broadcasters and content creators have the ability to be able to create the most compelling content possible.
Well, it's only day 2, so there's a lot more to learn.
There's a lot more to learn and a lot more steps to be had. I will meet my step goal each day. But yeah, it's a really exciting show, and I really want to thank you for having me on your show here today.
Thank you for coming.